Hello, everyone. I'm Drax. You're tuned in to Draxatron, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 2 of Let's Play The Outer Worlds. I'm glad you're here and chose to visit, and I hope you will enjoy today's adventure. Let's get into it, shall we? And last we left off, we had come into Edgewater. We're standing just outside the gate here, looking for a power converter for the Unreliable. The ship won't be able to get off the ground without it. We spoke to Reed Thompson, the head man at the cannery, and he said that while, of course, he would be unwilling to part with Edgewater's converter, he told us of a second one that is in the old botanical labs on the other end of the Vale. He also told us that there was a group of people, dissatisfied, disgruntled, upset folk who couldn't take it anymore working in the town, that had moved there under the guidance of a woman by the name of Adelaide McDevitt. She apparently used to be some kind of upper-up in the local Spacer's Choice hierarchy. And Thompson told us that we could get the converter from the old lab and in the process, hopefully, convince the folks there to come back to town, and that Thompson was willing to find ways to make amends for past disagreements and troubles. And we also have a request from the vicar, Max DeSoto, to find apparently a banned heretical text, the journal of someone named M. Bakonu, that's located in one of the buildings on the outskirts of town. We also have this request from Abernathy to retrieve a cache of medicine that's in the old community center. But there was another lady by the name of Esther who asked us to get the medicine and bring it to her, saying Abernathy's a hypochondriac, he doesn't really need it, and she wants to give it to the folks in town who can't otherwise afford medical treatment or qualify for it. Apparently, the way things work in Spacer's Choice is you have to qualify for medical treatment. That's a real positive thought. But anyway, we are going to do that now. While we're here on our way, we will poke around just a little bit. Uh-oh.
Wow! Great work!
Good job, Parvati. And we do have our companion here, Parvati Holcomb. She seems nice. Oh. Let's go around this way so we're not running people over. Now, it pays to poke around in these buildings. You can find useful items. Items that you may not need, but you can always sell. Now, here's where the bypass shunts come into play, is hacking these terminals. I'm going to hold off until I get another bypass or two, just so I'm not burning through them all for something. Aha. Anything else? Now that door is well and thoroughly locked, isn't it? We'll come back to that a little bit later. I wonder how many it takes for this door here. It's not too bad. We'll go ahead and open this one.
That was quick.
Ah, gourmet salt tuna. Oh. Nothing else in here, I don't think. No. Now that locked door up there. Lets us jump across to the next building over, looks like.
Wow, you got that?
Now, the higher your lockpick skill relative to the necessary skill level for a particular door or container, the quicker your hack time will be. Now, we can't go through this building, so we will have to go back across and back down. All right. Flights of random stairs are always worth investigating. Somebody was playing cards. All right. Well, we've got some marauders up ahead. I believe that building just up the way there, past that tree, is the community center. Surprise. Come on. Walk over that way just a little. You're going to come this way, aren't you?
Okay, here we go! Woo! We made it!
You did it. I was hoping that that second guy would walk closer to that container so I could blow them both up at the same time, but it's all good. All right. What do we got here? Anything of use or interest? Aha. Okay. Now those two plumes of fiery particulate matter that you see spewing from those stacks over there, that's the geothermal plant. That is one of our ultimate objectives here in the Vale. Oh, I see a marauder. Yeah, as long as you stay out of my line of fire, everybody, we'll be good. What do we got here? It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. Ooh.
Nice.
A small wooden music box. This music box plays the Happy Sisty Pig when the lid is opened. Consider yourself earwormed. Oh, how nice. Anything useful in here? Yeah, we'll take a Drino. there. Some items, of course, are purely valuable for how much you can sell them for. Even if it is just a few bits, sometimes it's worth it. Now, here's an example of where we don't yet have the skill. We only have 23 in lockpick. We need 25 for this door. When we come back later, we'll have to remember to stop by and see what's hidden behind it.
Here they come! Nice one! Got him off!
One thing I've noticed that has almost never shown any signs of changing about games like this too is that when you're in combat, if you have a companion and you are trying to use a ranged weapon like this one, with or without a scope, if you're trying to shoot at a target from a distance and you are, zoomed in or scoped in, it is almost a law of nature, I suppose, in the gaming universe, that your companion will, at some point or another, step directly into your line of fire, and you will accidentally shoot them, trying to shoot somebody else. It's like, come on now. I used to have that problem all the time in Oblivion, where you'd be in combat with friendlies, and as soon as you'd go to swing your weapon, shoot an arrow, cast a spell, one of those friendlies would step right into your line of fire and get hit by whatever you were just trying to do. Now that little glowing orangish yellow circle on the ground there, that is a landmine. They will hurt if you are not careful. They will hurt badly. Or, even if they don't hurt, they will make your ears ring. Now let's slip in through the back door, shall we? Alright, here we are, the community center. Bread noodles. Frozen dinner, Spacer's choice. Made in a variety of types, the most popular is fried chicken, mashed spectrum potatoes, and spiced mock apples, although the borscht loaf dinner is a close number 2 in all respects. That's funny. Plain and pure water. Now, some stock you can't purchase until you either reach a particular affiliation with a faction or you have a certain level of skill.
It's not the best choice.
It's Spacer's choice. Got a lot of those to flog when I get back to town for some extra bits. All right.
Here we go! That's the last of them!
I guess it's a good thing that many of these marauders have crappy aim. What's this? A sentry saber. We'll leave that one be. Now, right here, this antique saber. It falls into the same category as this item right here, the OSI vial. Throughout the course of the game, you will find various unique, interesting items like this that you can pick up, which will, once you have the crew compartments on board the Unreliable open, folk like Parvati will make their home in those rooms, and these items will decorate those rooms. Adds a little extra personalized touch to the ship. I thought that was nice. Okay. Surprise.
Watch out!
Get them!
Now, there are items in this game that I have never used for one reason or another. A lot of games that I play, one thing I don't do, simply because the downsides outweigh the benefits, is I very rarely, if ever, imbibe alcohol. Now, my characters, like myself, are not teetotalers, but the cons outweigh the pros in most cases. Let's see here. The History of Emerald Vale exhibit synopsis. The history of Emerald Vale, once complete, will display the proud heritage of our settlement for generations to come. Decorating the main hall of our noble community center, this elaborate diorama of memorabilia of our settlement's founding will embody the hard-working spirit of our Spacer family. The centerpiece of this grand exhibit will be a taxidermized mantiqueen erected within our main lobby as a sign of civilization's victory over nature itself. Director Pickett. Okay, that's nice. Oh, that's nice too. And somebody is looking for trouble. Wait for it.
Here we go!
That one's going to come around the far way. Come on. Oh. Where are you running off to? He's going the long way around, I guess. Oh, wait, I think he just realized he's going in the wrong direction. What in the bloody hell? Parvati. Okay, so...
Here they come! That's the last of them!
So, that guy ran the long way around. Parvati teleported over to him, capped him, and then made it back before I could even do anything. That's nice. Did she come this way? I don't see how. That door is barred. Let's unbar it. Now in here, if I recollect, is, yes, there it is right there, the medicine. That container right there is the medicine that Abernathy and Esther back in town were asking me to find. Before I do anything else, though, let me... For now, we'll just do that. Now then, there was another... Where was it? Alright then. Let's go upstairs before we do anything else.
Easy.
Ah. Now, barring finding or being able to get to that key that was locked up in that container there, with the appropriate level in hack, you could go into this terminal and you could encode a first aid key card yourself. We saw that earlier when we were looking through that computer. Thankfully, though, we do not need it. What's this? Tossball Divisional Championships this Saturday, only at the Antibiotics Sports Arena. Rizzo's Rangers versus Anticleo's Darlings. Prices 35 bits for adults, 10 bits for children. Blood-thrilling action. Rizzo's Rangers and Anticleo's Darlings. Oh, that's nice. Let's get this door open. Clean the place out. What's that? Oh. And here is the anthracillin. Bones and gears don't mix. Worker injuries affect our bottom line. Use caution when operating heavy machinery. Very encouraging. Let's see here. Now we can hold on to a few of these. A few, though. Alright. Make sure there's nothing useful on them fellas. Now, we look upstairs. And this fella right here also carried a copy of the first aid room key, but we do not need it, so we'll let him keep it. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, oh, a model spaceship. Okay, folks, that should do it for the community center. We snuck in through the back door, now we're going to leave through the front. Something got this marauder here, and I don't think it was us. go to the crest of this road right here. There is the geothermal plant. We'll be going there shortly. But for now, we're going to go around this way and call upon the good folks at the botanical lab. Oh. Something got these boys. Don't know what. Probably better that we don't. Mag pick. Definitely will have to make a trip back into Edgewater very soon, lest I fill my pockets with more goods than I can carry. But I will pick up most of these items and then sell them off just for a little bit of extra money later. Now this door here is locked. Let's see what it takes to get it open. Yeah.
Hey, it's a present.
Oh my. No, I don't want to sleep. I want to pick up that energy cell. Do I already have one of those? Yes, I do. Scorched Journal. After sneaking parts out of the industrial sector for a couple of days, I think I finally have everything I need to build my own flying death machine. However, upon closer inspection, I'm not entirely sure all of these components will fit together properly. It's not like the board would build their mechanicals with custom tooled parts, right? Everything would have to be modular for all these mechanicals to run efficiently. I'll tool around with things for a bit and see what I can put together. After a few hours of experimentation, things are starting to come together, but I still don't have it down to an exact science. For instance, there's something wrong with the memory processing core that I can't seem to sort out. When I tried to install it, the unit made a loud buzzing sound and refused to respond to any feedback. I removed it, whacked it with a wrench a few times, and that seemed to stop the buzzing. Things seemed like they were working for a few seconds after I installed it again, but now there's a sharp clicking noise every few seconds, and the damn thing's right stabilizer won't stop twitching. I'll try removing the processing core again and giving it a few more good whacks. That'll learn it. Yeah, that'll learn it. Right.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Well, we kind of need to be here.
I don't know you.
I don't know you
Whatever
either.
you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Okay.
A geo what? Look, plants ain't my purview. You're better off asking after Adelaide.
Yeah.
If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Okay.
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind. You don't know what enough with the questions means?
No.
No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Appreciate it. Honest. I'll tell you what I can. Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Little ways ago. She was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Wanted to see what the fuss was about. Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does. What is it?
Alright, that's another aside that we can do. In this particular situation, trying to accommodate Reed Thompson's request that these folks come back to Edgewater will be made easier if we help several of the folks here. One of them is, in Grace's case, finding out what happened to Zoe. And since we're in the area and won't be leaving for a while yet, we might as well poke around and see if I think... Who's this?
Fancy duds. Do the tubes get in your way? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
No, not really.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics.
Oh, my lord.
Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd.
Nothing wrong with journaling.
The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day.
Alright. I think... Oh, this is the storehouse, isn't it? That's stealing. I already made the mistake of stealing one thing. I don't want to steal anything else. Oh. Stealing. So I think... Yeah, here we go. Zoe's journal, page 22. Well, today's the day, Zoe. Today is the day you take your destiny into your own hands. I've been listening to Grace talk about the marauder threat. Bands of wild, free-spirited bandits living in camps out in the hills, warming themselves by the light of barrel fires, probably mounted the heads of their enemies on spikes as a warning to folk like me, living a life of comfort and ease, free of any rules. I bet they could take the whole region if they were organized. I've been tucking away some of Adelaide's food, and I've got some spare cans of salt tuna. Should last me a couple weeks if I ration. Got me some Adrenatime, too. Everybody loves Adrenatime, even marauders, right? I got odds those marauders will let me throw in with them if I dangle a couple syringes of Adrenatime before their eyes. This is going to be great. Look out, Terra 2. Bandit Queen Zoe's origin story has just begun. I'm going to have a whole gang of marauders at my beck and call. Maybe I can even score some Rizzos. Well, what's this one? Zoe's journal, page 12. So that's it then. No more Edgewater for me. No more cannery. No more jumpsuits and gloves. Yes, ma'ams, and would you like another's? I don't know why I'm writing this down for posterity's sake, because I've always hated the cannery, and I don't think I'll ever have to look back to this journal many years hence and tell myself, oh wow, I did hate the Veil once, didn't I? Just because I got sick. Everybody gets sick. Well, okay, I got sick and I grabbed a little too much adrenatime. Is that really a crime? I gotta treat myself when I'm sick, don't I? Whatever happened to personal responsibility and surviving by one's own bootstraps? Oh, but you misappropriate one box of adrenatime and suddenly you're committing larceny. I guess that's it for those. Now, this, now that I'm remembering it, is one of the items I had mentioned in the community center that you can collect to decorate your ship with. But I think I'll hold off on that one for the time being. For now, let's go in here and speak to Adelaide.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
I think I'll pass on that. Appreciate it, though. Well, we might as well get down to brass tacks.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
I don't see any reason to be dishonest about it.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed-out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
Something tells me, as much as I don't want to say it, that Miss McDevitt here is one of those type that won't much entertain any viewpoint that doesn't dovetail neatly with her own. And I'm going to be direct with this one.
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear.
But I bet you'd do it again in a heartbeat if you thought it'd get somebody over to your side, wouldn't it? Let's see how she says to this.
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it.
It's funny that in saying that, she's deliberately ignoring the fact that, although I'm sure there are conditions, maybe, to their returning, that Reed would actually like for these people to come back to town. I'm not entirely taking Reed's side over Adelaide's, but something about Adelaide's attitude in this conversation just, I don't know. I guess we'll see as time goes on.
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
All right, then. Let's see. Now, I believe...
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Didn't mean to do that. Where? Which one's Thomas? Oh. The young man over here?
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
This young man's got all the hallmarks of someone suffering from a bad case of puppy love.
Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair. I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
Sure, why not?
Would you? I'd be grateful. What's on your mind? Couple months. This camp's my home. People you see milling about, they're my family. At least I think of them that way. I owe them my life. Would have died in the wilderness if they hadn't chanced upon me, starving and delirious. We all left the cannery for one reason or another. Me? I was let go, mostly on account of my incompetence. I mean, I was incompetent. I couldn't even survive on my own. Grace found me, Adelaide took me in, I've been on my feet ever since.
You weren't incompetent. You just didn't fit the cannery. Not like here. This place had a U-shaped hole, and now it doesn't.
You could stay, you know. Here. I'd be happy to... We could really use... oh, this isn't coming out right. If you want, Adelaide would make a place for you.
Alright, I think that's enough of that for now. Now then. Let me double check. This is that quest we got from Thomas Kemp. No, I'm sorry. This is the one from Dirty Dirt. This is the one from Thomas Kemp. Right here. There is a copy of that A Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering. One is in the local community center, one is in Edgewater. He mentioned a third one. I cannot off the top of my head recollect where it was. But if we keep our eyes peeled, we will find it, I think. Now right here is the object we need. The power regulator. But in order to pull the power regulator, we will have to divert the power away from the botanical gardens to Edgewater, shutting down this portion of the grid. But before we go doing anything like that, let's go and see if we can find Zoe Chandler. We do walk rather slowly in this game. Let's see. Yeah, we can go find Zoe. She's over here on this end. And then we can loop back around to the community center and find that copy of that engineer's guide that Thomas wants. I should have repaired my rifle while we were back there, but I didn't. Something's making a mighty noise. I wonder, we do have some armor that I just remembered. Put that on so that we're not running around in a cryogenic suit all the time. It would probably look rather ridiculous after a while. Let's see. All right. That got exciting for a few moments, didn't it?
fast.
Something there.
Stand down and deliver! I always wanted to say that. No!
Right. Try to make sure there's no more of those marauder types running around, just in case. Oh. See what this door needs. All right, now let's talk to Zoe.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. What, you mean Adelaide's little congregation of nature-loving nobodies? I could not possibly be less interested in them. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
I'm great at clarifying. I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find but a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse? I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit. I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys?
Smartass.
The marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, it must be my natural charisma. I've got all the time in Halcyon. Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong. I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me. Wait, you're telling me he's got a copy of the Mass Marketeer? Why didn't you say so?
I literally just did.
I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
All right. Nope, sorry, everybody. Now that we've taken care of the matter of Zoe, we can cut. Let me double check my. Yeah. Should be able to cut across this direction to get to the community center. Because if I'm not mistaken, yes. Oh, nice. Well, we're here. We've got some firepower and the skill to use it. Let's see if we can clear this place out. Might find something useful. Might. If nothing else, we'll have weapon and armor parts for later repairs. Bearing in mind that these primals are annoying as all get out. Spread out. Oh, wait a minute. I know what to use. Where is it? Damn it. I could have had them. I got a little carried away. No big worries. All right. Now, we're going to do that again. Usually, if I can vaguely remember the way these annoying critters work, they're usually a bit more spread out. But apparently they were all hanging out in the same spot. But I didn't. There we go. That's better.
Here we go!
My goodness. All right, let me. I guess I am going to have to use this.
Armor's too strong! Hit it with something else!
In your face. Look out, poor buddy. Alright, let's go back to this. Miserable little scam.
Everyone alright?
Alright, that's enough of that. Gather all this muck up, we can sell it later. Oh look, and there's one or two that missed the party. That is unfortunate.
Don't mess with us.
That went better. Granted, it wasn't near as many. but it still went better. Ah, here we go. Some potential usefuls. Oh. Somebody from Spacer's Choice Security come down here. And by the look of it, he did not make it. Poor fella. Okay. Now the community center should be just over the hill to the left here. Somebody's heading out. That's strange. I must have overlooked that earlier. No worries. Now that road that we took from the botanical labs down to where we found Zoe, if we had just stayed on it after we'd done with the marauders over there, we would have looped back around to right here. We got a fun little thrashing from primals in that nest, but all part of the fun. Every once in a while you're going to end up in a fight you can't quite handle, or you're going to just, you know, slip up and make a mistake. Or get outnumbered, which is essentially what happened with me, but I'll be alright. Borstwurst. Now before we grab Thomas's engineering manual, let's go over here to the store. Or actually no, we can do it right here. In the maintenance bay.
This is where the magic happens. Well, science. But it still happens here.
Now, I do believe we do have a few items that we can possibly mod some of our weapons with. The magazine, let's see. We don't have a sight, but we did have a magazine, so we will take it. Let's see if we can do anything with this. Rate of fire or noise reduction. Let's think about that and come back to it, shall we? Don't really have anything for that one, so let's do this one. Yeah. Actually, this Parvati. Okay, so she's the one carrying those. Okay. I wonder if there's any. No, we don't have anything for that. Or that. How unfortunate. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. I want to repair my armor. Okay, now that's done. Let's go over here and sell off some of our collected
Friend of mine
stuff.
died a couple weeks back.
Actually, first, let's do this. Now, Abernathy may or may not have problems. He strikes me as a bit of a hypochondriac. I actually used to know somebody that was almost exactly like him. Bless him. It would be more appropriate to let Esther have the medicine so that she can help more people around town who otherwise would not qualify for medical treatment. So let's talk to Esther.
I've got some time.
And I've got that medicine you were after.
Thanks. I'll see to it that this medicine gets to the people who need it. Here, something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but I hope we never do business together again. Don't want to make a habit of consorting with smuggler types.
All right. Now we can not only boost our own skills, but we can give Parvati a few extra abilities. You can increase their health, how they generate threat, their skill in engineering. Now, I think now we will give her that. Then on the next go around, we will give her a boost to the engineering skill so that whenever she's in the party, right. And in my defense, I'm not a smuggler. I guess just because I walked out of town, picked that medicine up, and walked it back to town, that makes me a smuggler.
I'm not allowed in here. Not since the vending machine incident.
Holcomb, got my eye on you, girl. Miss Holcomb ain't allowed in this establishment. Not since that little incident.
Huh.
Absolutely. I'll keep my hands in my pockets. I won't touch anything while we're in here, Mr. Moreau. I promise.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. Music to my ears.
All right. Oh. Oop. Let's see here. A tangy sauce made with real atmospheric contaminants from Tartarus. That's nice. No, don't sell the Adrenatime, just in case. Oh, that's nice. Maxwell. He doesn't want much for that, does he? Alright. Now let's head over to the cannery. I don't know why that switched over.
Wonder if the plague's ever gonna pass.
Just keep working.
Sal Tuner. Oh, and you know what? I just remembered. I was in the area that I could have nabbed that book Father or Vicar Max wanted, and I didn't. Now here's you another companion decoration. It's stealing too, though, so I'm going to leave it alone. Maybe later. Aha. What have we got here? From the office of Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator, symptoms of infection have now reached a critical mass. I have instructed our staff to transform the old domicile into a sick house. Plague is a reality of life on the frontier, and as spacers we are expected to face up to reality. And the reality is that we do not carry enough medicine to treat all of you. Medical treatment is a privilege, not a right. We must strive every day to demonstrate our worthiness of that privilege. If you find yourself suffering the symptoms of incipient plague, the best thing you can do for yourself and for your family is to don your jumpers and come to work. Work fortifies the spirit. Physical illness recapitulates spiritual weakness. That's nice. Oh, hi, Parvati. There's Phyllis. I don't know why, but it's weird saying that name. That was my mother's name. I could probably count on one hand the number of times I said it as a kid. You just never referred to your parents by their names. Eh, well. Right. Since we're in the area and since I forgot it earlier, let's go over this way. Find I keep calling him Father Max. Vicar Max, his book. Vicar. We've got marauders. Oh, that was colorful.
Come out and play!
Everyone all right?
Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, somewhere in one of these buildings. Now look, more goodies. No, I don't think I need any 2-hour 2-hour energy proof. I thought it was 5 or 6 hours. I guess the board had an overhead that they couldn't ignore. Oh, the plasma cutter. What have we got here? A plate of soap. Ah. I just got the letter today. Corporate ordered me to relocate to the Edgewater Cannery effective immediately. It's a shame. I was really looking forward to running my own gift shop at the community center, selling rare memorabilia, but scripture tells us that all things happen for a reason. Work fortifies the spirit and all. As for my book collection, I can't bear to part with it. Don't want those books moldering in some contraband locker, so I stashed them all away in a cave over by the river. That's nice. Clement Eldridge. Available messages from J. Bartell. Clement, I find I must disagree with your theories about the Earth Directorate's place in the colonial system. Sadly, as much as I appreciate the board and the new frontier they've opened for us, I believe Halcyon and all the other colonies on the rim of the galaxy would fall to pieces or war amongst themselves if the Earth Directorate wasn't around to regulate trade and settle disputes. Do you think the corporations would accept the mandated inclusion of an Earth minister if they had a choice in the matter? Jefferson. And then Jefferson. Of course, I'd never dispute that Earth is the heart of the whole colonial system, but the real adventure and independent spirit upon which humankind truly thrives is to be found out here amongst the furthest colonies. I still think you're wrong about the history, though. The discovery of the skip drive was not what gave the Earth Directorate power over the corporations. The high costs of the Great War left them in a weakened state, and the skip drive was simply the extra leverage the Directorate needed to return to power. Little bit of overarching backstory. My original understanding of how the overall historical premise of the game went was that, unlike in our universe where Teddy Roosevelt and William Taft made it focuses of their administrations to bust up the big trusts that dominated business and industry in America. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Like Standard Oil or the railroad conglomerate, steel, what have you. In this setting, they never really were busted up, and so they essentially became powers in their own right. And then they started purchasing, as time marched on and technology became more capable, they eventually started purchasing the rights to settling distant worlds. And apparently the Earth Directorate is the only intervening power with any control over what they do, although the extent to which they have that control is probably subjective. Yeah, I don't want that stuff. Probably should have looked closer before I picked that tin up, shouldn't I have? Okay. Spread out.
Be quick.
Spread out.
That's the last of them.
Well, that was very colorful. And that is what happens when you modify your weapons with that Mag 2 power mod to change the damage type to plasma. Okay. Speaking of plasma,
Easy.
aha! Here we go. The Journal of M. Bakonu. Everybody, watch your ears. All right. No, nothing else of particular interest. Let's see, I think we can go both directions. This direction, I think, takes us out just a little bit closer to town. And Vicar Max, not Father Max. Father Max, Brother Max, Vicar Max, Bishop Max. Yeah, serves you right.
Get ready.
I see. Nobody gave you permission to get all up in my face.
We made it.
Yeah, give that a moment to wear off. Alright. And now we can head back to town. I always wondered what these things right here were supposed to be. I suppose when they built these buildings, which it's fairly obvious they're prefabs of some sort, I guess those were the shells of the containers they came out of, and rather than break them down and use them for anything useful, they just kept them. I don't know. Let's get Vicar Max out of the way. There's Auntie Cleo. Excuse me, Mr. Resident, Mr. You can make some terrible mistakes if you're not careful.
Any progress on that matter we discussed?
Yes, here's your book.
Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this French? I can't fucking read French. It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn. Well, yes. But I assure you, it was not for personal gain, only for the greater good. I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the time and suffering I've spent. Wasted. Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony. Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of the philosophist perversion of Bakonu's thoughts came more than a century after his death. The story of my life. Most lay people are not aware of this, but we've not discovered any new insights into the plan for a long time. I had an idea that we should welcome the truth, no matter where we found it. I had the worse idea to share my thoughts with a superior. And that's how I ended up assigned prison duty, where I was fool enough to let an inmate bend my ear with stories of an original Bakonu journal. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport.
I see where this is
You have
going.
a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew. Certainly. I already gave you most of my money, but I can offer you free spiritual counseling, and I'd be happy to watch your back. I'm pretty handy with a tossball stick, or any blunt instrument, really. I'm also a passable gun hand, if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well.
I find it, I don't know, it seems funny in a tongue-in-cheek sort of way, going back to that comment I made in the previous video, that a vicar would be good at hacking.
Well, understanding computers is, though I admit I took it further than most. And I was quite the 32nd back during my penitentiary term. Left many an opponent bleeding in the prison yard. Of course. I'm a vicar who is dedicated to his calling. More dedicated than any other you'll find in this colony. I joined the OSI to help decipher the grand plan. But instead, I ended up the vicar in a prison due to ignorance and politics. Then I came here. Satisfied?
I suppose I'll have to be.
Fantastic. Let me get my things in order and I'll catch up with you.
Edgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say about their vicar.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scenery, and to leave this place behind. I shall see you on the ship, Captain, whenever you're ready to leave Emerald Vale.
Well, all right then. Our little party has grown by another member. So now, since we're in the area, Ludwig over here at the landing platform wanted us to investigate an auto mechanical hanging out back of the town. Spectrum vodka. Ooh. I've had vodka before. Really, I find it depends on what kind you choose, whether or not your experience is a positive one or a very mixed bag one. The corner of the world I live in, bootlegging was a big problem. Well, for the authorities it was. Back in the 1930s during Prohibition. one of my great-grandfathers, was apparently quite an accomplished bootlegger. He taught my grandfather all about it, and in his later years, he developed a rather passionate hobby for making his own wine.
Aw, he ain't no threat. Bet I could fix him up smart.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply.
I could probably fix that. I mean, if you wanted me to. Yep, I see the problem. His nav mod got dislodged. Must have taken a tumble. Just gotta give it a good push and wait for the click. There we go. Jeremy's good as new. Well, new by Spacer's Choice standards anyhow. His name's Jeremy, by the by.
Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics.
Be more careful out there, Jeremy.
Jeremy. Well, that is friendly. Auto mechanical, at least. See if there's anything in. Bunch of nanners. I've got enough of most basic foodstuffs to last me for a little while, so I think I'll be okay for the time being. Let's see if there. Oh, and there's a container over here.
Okay, gone quiet.
Oh. I've already got one, so I'll break that one down. Okay, now that the evil auto mechanical has been dealt with, let's go back to see Ludwig. Oh. Any more? Yeah, there's. Yep, there they are down there. I see them. Missed. Good shot, buddy. All right then. What's this all about? Ethology log. Terra Ray mating habits. Kane Van Acker, Spacer's Choice ethologist assigned to Terra 2. This week I've decided to study Terra Ray mating habits. The female Terra Rays leave their nesting area in the morning and return in the afternoon with random objects, typically something shiny or bright. Then they build displays with these objects and perform what I can only describe as a dance for an audience of males. If a male likes what he sees, the two go off in the nest together in one of the nearby trees. Gerald, if you're reading this, I'm done waiting for you. Collect my things and meet me at the next site, and don't be late. I expect punctuality from my assistants. Okay. I wonder what became of poor Gerald. There is no telling. But for now, let's focus on giving Ludwig an update. There he comes. I remember the last time I played the game, every time I come over this direction, at the exact moment I was coming down the ramp here, he'd come walking out of his building. It was like perfectly timed, every single instance.
Bring us honor, soldier. You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer, a weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts. Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years. On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if that weapon has been hidden behind that toilet for as long as he says it has, The odds that the bartender's going back of that toilet with a mop are not very good.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
You're not a big drinker, are you?
No. In fact, I'm not going to drink at all. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yay! We leveled up again. Okay, this time we are going to increase our walk speed. Because it goes without saying that you walk insanely slow at the start of the game, and it is
A friend of mine died a couple weeks back.
useful to get that perk that lets you walk faster. And while we're here, let's repair our hunting rifle. Oh, wait a minute. Let me repair my armor while I'm at it. Now, let's go see Ludwig again. And be done with this craziness. Yep, see, right on time.
Bring us honor, soldier. Feast your eyes, soldier. This here's a genuine Spacer's Choice injury customizing unit, designed to deliver a lethal blast of electrical discharge. I call it the Hand of the Law. You ever want to see a mechanical flailing around like a grounded fish? You stick a couple thousand volts in its guts. With compliments from old Ludwig. Time's come for you to journey down into the black heart of the enemy's camp. I'm talking about the old geothermal plant. Unfortunately, the old plant lies outside my board-given jurisdiction. You'll need to get a passcode from the boss, Reed Thompson.
I think I already have that. But I'm not going to tell him that. I don't want to hurt his feelings.
I need you to get us the brain of a mechanical. Well, not exactly a brain. Anatomically speaking, what we're looking for is a logic module. Don't tell anyone, all right? I've got a contact. A real expert in the inner workings of the automaton. We are gonna rip those mechanical secrets right out of their circuits. Well, excuse me. What I meant was I'm going to get a contact. I didn't know I had to be all prissy about my grammar around you.
No, I'm not a grammar Nazi. I'm just a little nitpicky.
There's the rub. If a mechanical breaks down, the logic module fries. So you can't rip one out of its corpse. You're going to have to find an intact model somehow.
I don't reckon so. I work with gears and pistons and such. Stuff you can put hands to. Computers and mechanical brains are outside my ken.
You know, she names the mechanical she fixes. Calls them Bess and Clancy and so on. Keep a careful eye on her. Could be a sympathizer.
Alright, that's enough from you.
If you die horribly, I will pour out a can of 0G to your memory.
Right.
Nice.
Let's see. So now we have to go to, I believe, everything we have left. Let's go back out to the botanical labs and let Grace know that Zoe's returned or is returning. Get that out of the way. Thankfully, once you kind of get an idea of the lay of the land, you can make shortcuts for yourself. Of course, in the Vale, like anywhere else in this game, the marked roads are usually at least passingly safer. If you cut through the woods or the wilds, what have you, you increase your chances of running into something decidedly unfriendly. Thankfully, with limited exception, it's not hard to get where you need to go without having to run into the likes of something such as a primal. Canids, yes, you'll run into plenty of those. And the occasional marauder. Oh, I overlooked this earlier. I'll always take some extra ammo. Grace.
What is it? We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway? Zoe joined up with a band of marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger.
Yeah, that's
I've
Zoe.
heard stranger things. You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
I'll leave you be. And while we're here, let's go ahead and give Thomas these 2 engineering journals that he requested.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
Manuals. I don't know why I keep calling them journals.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years.
Out of potatoes.
I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me. Well, don't keep me in suspense. Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Sure, I'd be glad to take them off your hands.
I like Thomas. He means well. Whether or not what he says about his being incompetent is true or not, he's good at heart. He's a good kid. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, drop a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already so that you'll see my future videos. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or constructive criticisms, please leave me a comment down below. And as always, I will see you in the next episode. Cheers.